We'll have it recorded for posterity.
Good morning. Welcome to the Columbia Open Space Committee regular meeting, Thursday, May 18, 2023 at 9 a.m. Call the meeting to order, and I will enter. Wait a minute. Who's taking minutes? Chris is not.
I gave you a heads up on that.
He did, and Crystal, we did.
Paul has a pad of paper.
No, I in fact gave Ann a heads up and said, but not me.
Yeah, he tells,
I don't have a
he
pad.
tells me Chris won't be here.
My agenda's on my phone.
I can get a pad and paper for whoever you'd like to
Volunteer.
If you would like, I don't know if I can, because I'm not on the.
That's all right. Close enough.
Thank you, Tom.
Close enough, Tom.
You got a pad and papers, you're
He
all.
does have pad and paper. And a pen.
He does.
It looks like
And
he just
he's
he was
very
very
good.
to volunteer all the time.
You better
And
get
he's
him on.
very
Can't
good
say
at
no.
He's one of those people that can't afford, just can't say no, it's right. Ultimate volunteer.
Only volunteer for that committee that gets volunteers to
That's right,
volunteer
he should be the
for.
volunteer, chairman of the volunteer committee.
He's very tired.
Right.
Okay, and, okay, Tom McGrath is taking minutes, and we thank him. And we extol him. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of April 20.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion, additions, corrections?
I abstain.
We have one abstention. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? One abstention, wrong. Okay, audience of citizens, would our note taker, do you have anything you want to put up that's not on the agenda?
Yes, maybe, and I'm not sure if it's for this committee or not, but the Conservation and Ag Commission is exploring the possibility of putting signs up around town, recognizing that Columbia is a right to farm community. So,
What does that mean?
so prior to towns adopting right to farm ordinances, local farmers, when residential areas built up, the new residents in town would file nuisance lawsuits to try to get the farmers to stop running their tractors, stop having the smell of manure on the fields, all that kind of stuff. And the right to farm rules in Connecticut, when they're adopted by a town, eliminate those nuisance lawsuits. In 2009, the town of Columbia established itself as a right to farm town.
And I assume that means that the people who are farming meet all their regulations, it's just a nuisance type thing. In other words, if I have an acre, I can't have a huge chicken farm or something.
It's whatever is allowed.
So if whatever is allowed by zoning, you're
Right,
allowed to.
you're allowed to, and as long as you follow best practices, agricultural techniques, you are protected from nuisance lawsuits.
That's good.
So,
Yes, so,
So make a motion to support?
yes, please do that.
Yeah, all right, so I made a motion that, Open Space Committee supports the, what, the.
Installation
of
signs.
Right farm signs.
Okay, now, Paul mentioned signage, because that's been going around for some time. Does your motion have that in it?
Right.
Because we've designated a right to farm already, we're just letting people know about it now. So,
That's right.
But if you need to present it to the selectmen, you're carrying the weight of the Open Space Committee.
that's what Conservation and Ag was looking for.
hang on,
we'll find some weight.
Some pixie dust.
a little there, that's fine. Okay, and I would just like to comment that open space has a vested interest in farmland, especially working farmland, because that is an extremely cost-effective way to conserve open space. First of all, this committee has participated in the farmland, the Department of Agriculture farmland preservation projects for Doug Robinson, Ron Zegda, and the Casman. Yeah.
I was doing the one over, what's her name? Cobb.
We're on hold. She's dealing with Eversource. Joanne turned her down. And then she made some amendments. And when she's ready, we'll go through it again.
Cool.
She's not quite ready. So yes, that's still on the back burner. And in addition to conserving open space, it's also an economic benefit to Columbia to have working farms. Because if you look at it from an open space point of view, when we purchase open space, we then have to steward it. But when the development rights of farmland are conserved by either the state or the town, or some combination, we don't have to steward that. The state of Connecticut oversees it, and the farmer stewards the land. And in addition to that, it's an economic benefit if you have a working farm.
It's still in the tax rolls.
Yes,
Still collect tax for open space, it goes.
exactly. So yes, we heartily support.
Okay,
All in
well, we should-
favor?
Okay, you're not voting on that. Do we have a second? Did you second?
I second.
Yes, we had a couple of
All right, we'll
seconds, second and third. Okay. So,
So-
any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
No, we're here.
So, thank you, John. Okay, we have no updates from Honor Lawler because she's on vacation. And under old business, do we have any updates, Mark?
Let me just think. So Route 66 access, we're still working on that, and
Okay.
we're still working with the family. We're making a lot of progress there.
Good.
So I would say by next month, I'll have something concrete to report.
Very good. Have Rams gotten back to you about following through something to honor Anita Faye?
Well, Tom and I were just, actually before this meeting, we took a walk, the same walk you did, so I showed Tom behind the cemetery, and it's really hard to get back there to do anything. We're talking about the property behind the center cemetery and behind Becker Senior Center is a whole wetlands. And that pond that used to run a mill back there. And really, if you want to honor something for the Ram, I'm thinking you really have to focus around that mill area behind the senior center. That's really the only easy, somewhat easy access to do something.
Right. The, just in case you missed out or forgot, the Ram brothers, Chris, David, Steve, donated the swamp.
Behind Tuttle, Center Cemetery and Becker Senior Center,
And,
that whole area.
but they really didn't give us enough access to it. There's supposed to be,
There's no access.
Not really.
No.
Well, there,
Mark and I walked back there, the access right in the swamp.
yeah,
You're literally in the swamp, so if you walk down that pathway, when you get there, you have to have boots on to actually get into the swamp. Well, you don't want to get in the
so
swamp.
wet.
right.
There's no
So
driveway.
they left us, what they gifted us was really
Swampland.
just the water. And don't say swamp with that tone of voice, swamps are good things.
It's a good thing, but we don't have access to it.
Yes.
But what we
don't
do,
have-
we do have
yes.
access to is around that pond and dam area behind the senior center. I think you could clean that up quite a bit and make it something that is,
But that was always ours anyways.
right, but,
But that was so.
but from there, you could see the wet,
So you can look off in the distance and you see the beautiful swamp.
right, so I think
Yeah.
if you wanted to make an observation or a bench area in honor of Dee, I would focus on that area.
Yeah.
Yes, that was my.
So Ian and I agree to that, Tom and I just walked it, and if you ever wanna walk it, there's a really nice trail at the end of the driveway at the Becker Senior Center that connects to Whitford Village, back, you know, that development back in there. So you could make it a nice walk with an observation bench.
Which is an excellent idea, connecting the senior center, Whitford Village. And we have a nice bench with a little plaque that says in honor of Dee Ram.
And that's something the Rams would be paying for that.
Yes, both Chris and Dave said that they they could raise the money and donate money. And I think what we have to do is give them a plan of what we would like to do to honor Dee. And they could,
To just follow up on whatever we talked about farmland, them giving up the wetland, basically all took it off the tax rolls. But they didn't really give us, there's no real benefit to the town. for What they did on that.
I think
So we're not doing it because they donated the land, we're doing it in honor of Dee.
an honor Dee, right,
Yes,
just like all these paintings the Rams donated in honor of Dee.
yes.
So I think the challenge is getting up to the pond area. It's not an easy access. So we have
When we walked it, if you walk the gravel path, it goes down to where the exit point is from the dam, and then it goes up toward Whitford Village. And before you get inside of the house, there's a potential there to bring you over to the dam with the least amount of effort, because you're already around the spillway. And
So you have to come back up to get to the top of it.
So let's, when we bring this to the Ram brothers, let's encourage them to put a stone bench
Mhm.
similar to Edith's, no maintenance, and encourage them to pay for the access to the bench.
And I think what I have to do is really walk that with Public Works
Yes,
and with Dan Johnson, our facilities, and get their input too as to what it would take. Because the other thing I haven't figured out, if you're gonna try to make it wheelchair accessible, getting over the curb off the driveway of Becker Senior Center, there's a big curb.
right, and the big curve is actually stopping the walk.
Right, so it's needed.
So it's not, you'd have to have a ramp.
A ramp as opposed to a curb.
Yeah. Or a stone dust sidewalk paralleling the road up higher to the senior, where the curb is not needed, where you could access it,
Yeah.
where the travel or transportation cars park. So a lot of stuff to figure out.
Actually, that's probably a good idea, because otherwise people will be running their wheelchairs down the driveway. And
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
They lose their brakes and they're being 66.
Where you park here, you get out of your wheelchair, and you go down some sort of a sidewalk over to it.
So you'd have to parallel the road with the sidewalk.
I've often thought that, if Public Works cut the trees between the highway and the dam, just to open up the dam. Because when they went in there, when they cut some trees for utility lines, it opened up that area briefly, and it really looked nice. I mean,
I think
the
you're
dam
right,
would look
Sid.
nice.
Part of this project is opening up the vista of the pond and the old mill site with kind of eliminating all that tree.
And you probably could get, once you get this going, you probably get people to volunteer to kind of just, they have groups that plant flowers and stuff, you could make that a little nice little thing here.
I can smell an eagle project.
So, yes,
In conjunction with,
Well, you know, it's funny, because for years, my property goes back and there's like a swamp, and there was some land across from the swamp, and just, it's my land, it wasn't much. So I just recently said, geez, you actually went back this, so I started just picking up branches and moving around, cut a few twigs up. It's actually a nice little area, so you don't really need to spend a lot of money,
Right.
sometimes just cleaning it up makes it look really nice.
Rob, would you help me and just pull the map of the Becker Senior Center area and make sure, just confirm we own that sidewalk area that cuts between the houses?
It's either
That would
also-
be-
I don't wanna make an assumption that we own that.
We do have, there's a map, I did it.
Okay, good. So let's pull that.
Yep.
And just double, triple check
Yeah,
everything before I present game plan to the Rams.
Get the stamps.
Yeah.
Board of Selectmen. Okay.
okay, good. I would love to see that project completed. It's been dragging on for a decade.
Oh, wow.
Put that on your stop dragging list.
Well, the problem is Public Works has put their foot down that they have to start replacing culverts. You'll notice they just did it on Hunt Road.
Yeah.
We're doing 2 on Hunt, and we have a lot more to do.
Now, that's not the dam piece. Isn't there something that's
That's
gonna go?
just the dam piece, we're redesigning it so it doesn't touch the dam spillway, because we can't get a permit because it touches the dam spillway. It involves the Army Corps of Engineers, and it's been 2 years waiting,
Yeah.
Where's that?
right at the Mattapon Dam.
Oh,
That was so ridiculous, that all should have been done at the same
Oh,
time.
same time, right.
That was crazy, I mean, because it's part of that. it's
Why
part of
would
the
you
dam. That opening.
fix the whole
opening
dam
for the dam
and
impacts
ignore the culvert?
the thing, yeah.
Right. Without that culvert, where's water?
Right.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I mean, it's part of the whole system.
So we just, and when we pull out these old culverts, there's nothing left. They're like Swiss cheese metal. The whole bottoms are rusted out. So
Pine Street parking, and it moves.
we're making progress, but we don't have a solution yet. So it was in executive session for Selectmen Tuesday night, and Rob and I have been pouring over the maps, so I'll report to you once we have a game plan.
Okay,
It's complicated.
Hot River Trail Alliance, Beth Lund is the rep there. Does she have any reports?
We just got acknowledgement that in this latest budget, the state has funded the upgrade to the Hop River behind the main moose, the culvert and the bridge. So that's all funded. I think that's what was really holding up that project. They never they funded the design of it back in 2019, but I don't think they have ever funded
Now they've funded.
now they have
for-
funded, I got confirmation on that.
And do
So
we have, a
2026, we might have a walking bridge over there.
God, I hope I live long
I'm
enough.
sure when you get old, you hear things like that, geez, I wonder if I get to walk on it.
Wheels turn slowly.
Another reason to stay alive.
My son could create a bridge to get to his property in one weekend. But not, the state takes 7 years.
It was so long ago, we voted on that in the selectmen's meeting, it's like, seemed like ages ago, I thought we'd be
It was
riding bikes over there.
years ago.
It was years ago.
That's frustrating.
But it took 11 years to get the bridge over Route 316.
Yeah, that's right. And there's one over
11 years I waited for that one.
the airline trail one there, over the Willamette River, took a while too. But
Now 11 years.
I know the end of one, that was for,
Yeah.
years about that one.
Okay. I reached several children waiting for that. Okay, and I believe, our rep director is the rep for the 12-town Airline Trail Alliance. And he reports there.
Well, we just received confirmation that they have new funding, quite a bit, to work on that 12-town alliance. How much was that, Tom?
So the airline trail was 75,000.
Yeah,
The Hop River Trail was 44,793 for signage and wayfinding. And then when we get to it, the Trust for Public Land, Vermont Pond Master Plan received 76,725.
so those are all sizable
That's a good one.
amounts. And that just came out yesterday.
So over 150,000 for the planning and stuff for the Hop River.
The airline and Monopond.
And then, yeah, about, well, closer to 200, what I say, 200, close to 200,000, so that all impacts each other, master planning together. Hopefully we'll talk to each other.
I think it's encouraging that, you know, maybe COVID, the road stop of everything due to COVID is maybe finally unplugging.
And so this money just came in.
It was
This is
just-
the bonding
Yes,
commission.
it was just authorized by the government.
Is that the light on 87 for the walkway across the airline trail, or is that?
That is approved. I've had Stephen sign off on it.
So that's actually going to be happening.
I don't know when, they haven't told us when.
What do you,
What's that?
what is it?
It's a blinking light crosswalk indication that you're crossing the airline trail right there. to Tell cars, I don't know if you can punch it when you want to walk across, or if it's just lit all the time telling you to cross it. I'm not sure how, but it,
On 87.
on 87.
a caution of.
Hey, this is a
Yeah.
crosswalk you're about to.
It's not a stoplight.
Hopefully they'll open up the parking lot there.
I would think once they build that, maybe they'll open that parking lot.
It's crazy, it's a beautiful parking lot,
I know.
fencing around it, it's basically already gravel there.
Right,
They just cut the weeds, that you could park
right.
10 cars there.
So they need to open that gate, and I'm hoping that once this crosswalk goes in, they'll open it.
Cause the only thing I'm afraid of, someone's gonna get killed there, backing out of there, cause I've parked there a couple times, and I don't go there anymore, but people do.
They fly down that hill.
And there's, you know,
It's plowed.
if you pull in, you gotta back out on 87, that's crazy.
And it encourages you to park on the other side where there's room for 2 cars, and most people are gonna be blocking the gate.
So it's a bad situation, it could easily get fixed.
Right.
Well, let's hope they
Good.
get right on it.
In 11 years.
Well, that light there's got a few years already, so if it's 11 years, we're probably down to 5 at this point.
Okay. Hop River Preserve is pretty much on hold because our fearless leader, Joan, is visiting London.
Well, if any,
Great,
has anyone been down there to see the road Public Works built?
yes,
It's pretty impressive.
it is.
I haven't, I saw a picture, I haven't.
Yeah, so that's in, and we're ready to, once we have money in the budget to put guardrails and create a small parking area. So once July 1 hits, we'll order guardrail materials and we'll cut down about 4 trees on the left of the gate and fence it in with park-like guardrail like we did at Rec Park.
Is that the entrance where you put your truck?
Yeah, so
Nice spot.
we'll have an authorized area for cars and a gate that we can get Public Works in and out of there. Plus, the other main reason was that was the compromise to allow the landowner to get through our property to his property. So he'll have access.
So he'll have a key or something.
He'll have, right, it'll be a combination lock or something. It'll be a combo.
And speaking of budget, just an aside, nothing to do with open space. But was there anything in for the public works facility that George used to talk about? Is that underway?
Yeah, it's, well, we're building, we're not building room for vehicles. It's office and rest area and lunchroom and showers and bathrooms. So that is being painted right now. So it's built.
Where is
It's behind the Public Works garage. Near these, in between the Public Works garage and the salt shed.
it? Oh, okay.
Where the Lions trailer used to be,
Mm.
back there, we moved the Lions trailer further back.
Mm.
So it was funded by the American Rescue Plan. And it's almost done.
Oh.
Beth is picking out furniture right now.
You went up so quick, it's like 6 months, start to finish.
Did anybody,
Can anybody else build a house?
How about a boathouse? Are we gonna get a boathouse?
Yes, that was just designed, the architect submitted plans and actually, I need to show that to the board of selectmen. But it's gonna look, it'll be the same boathouse we had before, but we're improving it because the last boathouse wasn't built to building official. It was built not to code. So this will be built to code and we're going to raise the roof higher. And the last one was a little funny because, you know, the roof was only like 6 feet up. This will be like 9 feet up. And the last roof, the roof came down so much that in your eye view, you looked at a roof, not the lake. So this one will have a better,
And gazebo on top of it, again.
Build here.
yeah, there'll still be a roof on top and the railings will be like black metal instead of the thick wood railings. So you'll be able to see through it better. So there'll be improvements. And we have to pour a new foundation because the foundation got shifted as well. So it'll be a better foundation. But we just have to get the design done and get it put out to bid and then make sure Kerma will approve whatever ends up costing before we execute it. So by the end of the summer,
Summer of 26?
you'll have a gazebo.
some summer, right? End of some summer, we'll be done.
Done.
A lot bigger than a state park.
I would say so.
Where,
It'll be done
where
soon.
is the patrol boat?
Right now, we're going to be parking it at Noreen Farrington's dock.
Okay, so they did take her.
Yeah, Noreen offered her dock.
Yes. That's fair.
We just don't want it to be stabbed to death like it was many years ago.
Yes. Okay, back to Hop River Preserve. I dropped in on, it's the recreation director and planted a little seed that in the future she could offer a little fishing derby or something there.
Better fishing there? Could be a tough turn derby.
The Hop River is stocked. And
Yeah.
it's like the easy spots where there's a bridge is where a lot of the stocking happens, so if we.
So, yeah, you
So
know,
it
early
should be
spring goes
stopped
on.
right there.
Yeah.
If you were to do that, I would call the state and say, hey, did you just dump some fish in like the day before? I just call it.
It disappeared
That
quick.
hour before. Yeah, I was over at the Fenton River the other day when they stopped it. And they just pull out the Stone Mill Bridge and throw the fish over the edge.
The other, I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but the town property, the Zegna Farm, the boundary is the Giffords Brook.
Yeah.
And the Giffords Brook is actually a stock stream still by the hatchery.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But most of the fish run upstream into the private property. I had a deep do a study for me to see what was there for fish and so forth. Quite a few years ago when my daughter was working for Deep.
Yeah. Chris worked at the fishery, right?
Yeah, both of them worked for Deep.
Yeah.
Did anybody see the lake trout they put in Coventry Lake? Massive 30-pounders.
Really?
Lake trout,
Oh,
they're huge. There was there's a federal hatchery in northern Vermont that they got them from. The feds say, hey, you want some? And all we had to do was go get them. So they they put 160 lake trout. They're not gonna survive because they need deep water.
I was gonna say, it's deep.
Yeah, it's not deep. The Coventry Lake is not even close to deep enough. But they weren't stocked to be sustainable. And they're just there, they'll die off or get caught.
What were these, the breeders that were being used at the?
No, they were just, just lake trout that they had at the hatchery left over from whatever, or they had extras or something, I don't know.
I don't know how that works.
Dinner.
But they're big, they're big. I remember catching them up in Maine, and they're fun to catch. But you get, you're going down 90 feet of water too. You're fishing with deep sea rods.
Yeah.
Anyways, off subject.
Yeah, yeah,
Hop River.
deep things. Hop River is this deep.
I know, last time I was when I was doing the work down there, I went down just to see if we could put a hydrant in there. And the water was like this,
Yeah,
it was in August, it's barely running. It's like,
Spring is when you want
you wanna do it
although
now.
I don't know
Go
how
play in the
deep
river.
it is above the wellhead deep.
So it's deeper there, above the dam, you got some depth.
right? Because of the thing.
It backs up pretty good all the way to that bridge, the bridge goes over it, that's all the way from there down, it looks like the water's pretty good.
Yeah.
But once you go over the dam,
Anyway, I put it on Deb Fist's radar. Because, part of that property should be,
that'd be a good idea, I didn't realize it was being stocked like right there.
yeah. Okay, anything new in the Salmon River? Or
No, we're going on a tour Saturday,
we go?
the middle section, down from
Well, that's cool.
Hampton. Yeah, places I haven't been to, the junction of the Jeremy and Salmon, or Jeremy and Blackledge meet.
Yeah.
And I haven't been there yet to form the salmon. We're gonna visit a few of those.
Nice.
That used to be the best fishing, at that junction.
How do you get to it?
And while the airline trail was the way we used to come in.
I'll know after Saturday. Take some pictures for us. Can do that with my phone. Yeah, sure.
It's good for those cameras.
Okay, and Tom, fill us in on Friends of Monopond State Park.
All right, so a few things going on. Back in March, so the agreement with the state and the town of Columbia was Conservation and Ag Commission was the organization that was responsible for trails and things. So as a part of Conservation and Ag, I asked to be appointed as the senior steward for the property so that then I could, under that role, ask for the members of the Friend of Mono Pond to do work on the trails and things, direction. So I'll wear two hats. So we did that in March.
And be covered by
Whatever,
insurance. Veritas.
The next thing is, just the way in setting up the nonprofit, our fiscal year ends like the towns on July 1st. So over the next 6 weeks, we'll have an annual meeting of some sort and appoint our officers and directors and so forth. Right now, we're scheduled for next Tuesday night. If enough people are available, we'll do it then.
This
2
coming
weeks
Tuesday,
ago.
this coming Tuesday, the date wasn't clear on the email.
Yeah, you had the wrong date.
Yeah, like 21, it was, like, I don't know, it was the 5th and, I don't know. It
I had a
was-
lot of typos. As soon as you hit send, you realize all the typos.
It didn't make any sense in the dates, I had no idea what it was.
We know what the fourth Tuesday is.
The attachment.
But if it's next Tuesday, that's
The
fine.
23rd, yes, it's the 23rd.
Okay,
And that's here?
Yes. Yeah, 7 PM is what I had.
What am I doing next Tuesday?
All right, I'll clean up and I'll send that out again. One of the things we had talked about with the Board of Selectmen a few months ago was putting up a gate at the end of the Page Wellswood Road, right beyond the entrance to Island Woods to stop some of the truck and ATV traffic. We met with DPW, Beth and Mark and the two neighbors to talk about different places we could locate a gate or gates. And after that meeting, we decided that the best thing, well, with all the rain this year, the gravel road that comes down from the paved road is pretty well washed out, so that will deter cars for the most part from going that far. And then at the bottom of the hill where the old schoolhouse lot is, the road, you can go to the right or you can go straight ahead. And what we were seeing is people looping through there. So we decided that having two gates, right when you get to the schoolhouse lot and then just beyond it, that would allow anybody that made it down the hill enough room to turn around and go back. And anybody that came from either direction, the ability to turn around and go back, but hopefully that would deter coming in from that side. After we went and met with the neighbors there, Beth and Mark and I went over to the Wellswood and over in Hebron and walked, because it's right where the pavement ends, is pretty much the town line between Hebron and Columbia. We walked in there to see all the stuff that had been dumped and whatever, and talked a little bit about if we were to put a gate in there where it should be. And right now, the thought is the gate should be pretty much right as the pavement ends, that would be the best deterrent. But then we were gonna reach out to the landowner, I believe it's Jake's,
Ron
Yeah.
Jakes.
to make sure that because he owns land on both sides, he's in agreement that he's, wouldn't be unhappy with having a gate there as long as he had access through the gate. So that's kind of where that sits.
Really? You have to talk to him?
Don't have to.
You
I mean, it's okay, you don't have to do anything.
kind of have to, because otherwise you'd be blocking access to his property, that would,
Right.
he can be a pain, so.
Right, no, I'm sorry, it's the same thing, we could have just put up a gate at the end of Wellswood, and it's like, there's no point in doing it if you're just gonna offend the people, where at some point that may be when they come up with the development plan for Mono Pond State Park. If that town road still exists, which we believe it does, that we would have, that would be one of the best access points for getting into the existing property. Because they're only an eighth of a mile. Just by, as the crow flies, it's only a mile that would separate that access point to Wells Woods over by Island Woods. So it's really be good to have those three gates in place to at least, there's nothing else, a signal to the ATVers and off-road truckers that they shouldn't be doing that in the park.
Well, if it comes up in conversation, tell them we'd still love to purchase this property
Correct.
at the
We'll take that off your hands.
assessed value. And we have funding,
We do.
TPM and the state.
Okay.
How about, what's the those other people next to you? I forget their name.
Lucarelli,
Lucarelli.
Yeah.
They still,
Not
Now,
communicating.
nobody's touched
still
base.
Jan's.
I keep wanting to go down there and have a pizza, and talk to that guy,
Well, do it.
but, well, I can't, I have to go with, I keep saying honor, come. I mean, it's gotta be
it's kind of
honor.
silly, 'cause they have no interest in doing it. They've cut all the lumber down, so I don't know what they're expecting is gonna happen there. Now that the state owns all that property, it's not gonna get developed. I just walked it the other day, and you can't build subdivision there.
They bought it for hunting.
Yeah,
And
But
now
I
the
don't-
brothers,
I don't think they want anymore.
So
And
I
I
don't know.
keep nudging her, but she's, her focus.
Well, one thing, we're gonna do this fundraiser, which is next. You know, give them a little money and show that Columbia cares.
Yep.
And then we can prod her a little more.
Right. And Honor's pregnant again.
Oh,
So,
man. Oh, goodness, what a daughter.
which is nice, but, yes, hopefully it's a daughter. But that will be a distraction. So I'd like her to close a couple of deals before the baby. But we'll see. Anyway, she's on vacation this week. She's not with us. Okay. Any other old business? All right. New business fundraising.
Okay, made a little progress here. Had a long talk with Walt Taylor. And got some good suggestions out of him because they've had so many events there that they're really pretty experienced at this kind of thing. I think, well, what I've been able to put together is he suggested, we talked about food. And one of the things is that you want people to come and to stay. So you have to feed them. Because they can't be thinking in the middle of the afternoon, God, I'm getting hungry and I gotta go home and eat, or I gotta go to Gina Marie's or something to eat. So the idea is to have an admission charge that would cover a glass of wine that he wants $7 a piece for, and a buffet. And he suggested a number of different, I mean, we talked about a number of different things, from trucks to whatever. But the bottom line was Highland Park Market, he says, does an excellent job for them when they come out.
They did that thing for Jim.
Did they? Okay. And were you happy with that?
They were good
Yeah,
and much more reasonable than hiring a caterer.
right.
And they did, they had a lot of selection, a lot of stuff we can do.
where is Highland Park?
It's the grocery store in Manchester off Highland Avenue.
Oh, okay.
I used the one in Coventry.
Oh, did you?
That's where Walt told me to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The one in Coventry is actually not a part of the other, because you have one in Glasgow, the one in Manchester, and one in Coventry. The one in Coventry is kind of independent from the other two, even though it's the same.
Well, I talked to the one in Manchester, because I thought that was the big.
I've done both anyway. I did a thing personal from years ago in Manchester was mine. For some reason, Walt told me to go to Coventry. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but it worked out fine.
yeah. So anyway,
Probably knows.
so a fee would get them, a ticket, buying a ticket would get them a glass of wine and access to a buffet. So,
And you'd be making money on that. What,
well, that's a good question.
I mean, I
Because
don't think we
I
should-
don't know whether you charge like $25 for expense to get them there, or you bump it.
Well, you know, these political things, they don't, you go there, you spend $1,000 and you're not getting $1,000 of food and stuff. Everybody knows you're going here to raise money. Everyone knows that. So you should, you should make something of it. You want to break even.
Okay, well, that's a good question, and that's one that we need to talk about.
For sure. Assuming everyone's gonna go there is in favor of what we're doing. And therefore, they're gonna anticipate,
Yeah.
they're gonna spend some
Well,
money.
here's my idea for advertising it. The biggest social event in Columbia since there was dancing at the Landmark.
Okay.
That was a while
That was
ago.
before my time.
It was before everybody.
How old are you? Well, you figure, there have been no social events,
Yeah.
really. In Columbia,
Well, just think about it, it's actually gonna be a thing where people are gonna entertain themselves. I mean, I know you wanna have an auction and all that stuff, which hopefully that works out, but say that's a bust, at least everybody comes and you put in $20 of stuff to feed everybody wine, and then you charge $50, there's $30.
Right.
So that, you know, be 100 people, 100 times 30, you won't be 100, I don't know how many people you want, how many.
there might be,
So, yeah, 100 people times 30.
I mean, you figure couples, I mean, that's only 50 couples in town.
Yeah.
So I think it could be.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's
Bucks a head.
the price of that. But one of the other things that I saw, which was really bothering me, was how do you sell tickets? And believe it or not, I'm thinking, and I said, you know, everything is online. I go and I Google, and here is this wonderful company that sets up ticket purchasing. It's just like buying a ticket from Jorgensen or something. There is a small fee that they collect, but everybody's used to buying tickets and paying fees on top of it. But the whole thing is done online, and then they send the money to you. It's just amazing. So that's done.
Would
But
you have alternative to that, because I don't like doing that stuff? Can I come buy a ticket from you if I don't want to do that?
Oh, you still wanna have that, don't you wanna have that ability anyways?
to be able to
To
sell.
hand people tickets?
Yeah, some people like that, like me.
I mean, the website's a perfect solution, because you'll have a number too.
And that would give you the opportunity to reach other people that we can't just reach to.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows, we could get, I don't know. How are you gonna limit the number of people? This is really well.
Well, I think you said, I mean, you decide what your maximum is, like maybe 125.
Well, because it's an outdoor,
Is it gonna be outdoor again?
well, I mean, because you have,
Depending on the weather.
well, it's like, because you have both the outdoor.
I mean,
and
it's-
indoor, I wouldn't.
August 17th, let's see, look at the weather on August 17th.
I really wouldn't limit numbers. I mean, because you're.
Well, you have to plan the food, that's the trouble.
Yeah, well, you have to have the ticket sales. So the ticket sales would drive the,
You have to talk with Highland Park and give them, they want like I think a week in advance, you know, how much they're.
Yeah, I mean,
There's some, they don't, you can't call.
I mean, I told the guy, I said there could be 50 to 125, he just went, that's a big difference. You know, and it's gotta go through their kitchen and everything, depending on what you ask for. Well, I don't know, I mean, the one thing I don't wanna do is overcomplicate it. I know the Lions Club will stand out there at the dump and sell tickets to the chicken barbecue. But then you have to allocate so many tickets, like you've got 10 tickets and you got 10 tickets, and yeah, I sold 8 of them. Those are little things you have to work
Well, then
on.
I suppose you could always call Paul Ramsey and you tell him how to get on the line, get online to buy it or something, I don't know.
That's too much trouble. I mean, for some people that will, but if I meet somebody, a neighbor, while I'm not walking or something, and I say, you have to come to this event. If I've got a ticket in my pocket, I say, here you go, $50. You
No,
want to?
I mean, that's how I do
If I say,
Okay.
oh, go home, go to this, it won't happen.
it.
Okay.
That's my, I'm one of those
Yeah,
people.
so you need to have both from,
I'm kind of in line with, I used to be involved with a professional organization, and we would sponsor different seminars, and people would sign up and then not show up. So what we did is we charged like a $20 fee, that if you showed up, you got it reimbursed. If you didn't show up, it went. So we saw an increase in people actually showing up, because they had already paid for the ticket.
Yeah, but this firm what you're talking about, they'd be collecting money.
I don't care if they come.
No, I'm just saying,
You're
I
not,
think
you're
it's
not just excited, you're not going online, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah,
And
especially
then you go to the door, these people are actually gonna collect.
Oh, the online. is-
Online,
yeah,
they're gonna have the money.
It's just like you wanna buy 2 tickets at the Jordans.
Yeah, so they're gonna have the money, that's the other
What
thing.
it comes down to, it's, do you want to pay with your credit card, you go online. If you want to pay in cash, then they'll whip out their wallet. So,
I don't think it would be like, I think it would be worth being at the transfer station, because you're gonna hit people that don't use social media and things. I don't know.
I was thinking even asking the Lions Club if they could have a little table at the barbecue. You know, because
Oh, yeah,
everybody
they
in
have lots of
Columbia turns
things.
out for that.
yeah,
Well, there are lots of little things to think
but
about.
what's the timing on the chicken barbecue?
I think that's in June, isn't it? Isn't it?
August,
Oh, is it? Is it
I
that
think
way?
it's after,
Oh,
Usually-
I thought-
usually
I thought it was
like
early in the summer.
20, August 20 something.
Oh, no, we're the 17th, so. that-
Are you
that
cool?
won't work.
Okay,
Might be the same day.
go on.
Oh, God. I better talk to somebody in line.
That would be a bummer.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't,
No, they have it on the weekend. This is a Thursday.
I have a friend that, is a musician, and I had asked him if he would be available, and he wasn't gonna be available, because I thought that'd be nice to just have somebody playing acoustic music or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he said he would recommend somebody, but I don't know if it would be, because it wouldn't be a friend of mine, whether they donate their time or not, or whether there's anybody in town that we could get that would donate their time for the fundraiser.
Yeah, I've thought of that. That would be really good.
You should get like Lynn Sharp. She has like a trio, just violins in the background.
Well, this all points out, and you make a good point about talking to somebody, is that you almost have to start talking it up now. You know, among, your friends or whatever that is coming.
Plus it's summer, people start making plans.
Right.
They want them to plan around it, not
Right.
through it.
One of the things too, with Hudstone, every once in a while, they'll host an event or a wedding or something, reception, where there's a tent on the property, and it's there for multiple days. I don't know if Walt had any idea if they had any bookings for that same week. Might be able to keep stuff there for a few extra days or something, or bring it early, or Lions Club has tents and tables and stuff too, that maybe they donate. Give you more
Well,
flexibility if you're a large group.
why don't you get some tickets printed,
Okay.
a few? Like,
So how are you gonna advertise it? That was where you started off.
Well, somebody's gotta help with Facebook. I don't know, everything Columbia, for sure. It's gotta be broadcast on that repeatedly. The other thing is it will be in the views, and kind of the reason for picking the date that I did was the views will come out the August 7th. The first Monday in August, I think. And this will be the 17th, so there'll be an opportunity to put plenty in the views about it as a last.
So one thing you gotta look at is how Park, how much time they need to know how much food.
They actually, believe it or not, they actually say 24 hours, but I think you have to give more time than that.
Last time we better than in Coventry. So they're talking that, so that's good.
Yeah, right. I told the guy, I'm
So maybe you should go.
quite a while. But I think they'll need, if you hit them with 125 portions, I'm sure they need several days to get the kitchen together.
I'm just thinking, if it's in the view on the 5th, and you only have 12 days, which is gonna go fast.
Is there any reason not to use the rec department to advertise it? as a part of their calendar in some way. And their social media.
Sure. Mark, would you go, would that be,
You're in the views already.
Right,
okay,
I put that in, yeah.
all right, so it's already been notified there, so it's good.
That's a start.
It's a start, yeah.
How about the sign out here, is that something, is that considered a town event, or would that be an independent event that we could put us on the
I don't see
town?
why you couldn't.
Hmm.
It's a fundraiser for open space.
Space.
Yeah, you can use the sign up front, and, we can help you,
Oh,
Get it on Facebook.
Newsletter, in your newsletter.
and the newsletter. I mean, newsletter, and if you want this popped into Facebook, Jen can do that.
Okay, great,
She puts stuff in through everything, Columbia.
okay.
Right, and this is just asking for the donations for the.
Right, initially, and that's the last thing, is if
But it
So
sets the
you've
date,
done-
August 17th.
anybody knows anybody that you think might be willing to donate something. Like, you know, that has a cabin in Vermont or a cottage in Cape Cod or something like that, just anything. I think the idea of the auction, I think we would keep it to a very small number, but that they ought to be really nice things. And, I think it's just asking if you know somebody that might be willing.
Were you planning to have a part of it be silent auction or just live auction?
No, I think live, because I do have the auctioneers that's willing to do it.
I know we've made a lot of money with the teacup auctions and the silent auctions where people just like donate a basket of wine or donate a this or that. And people go and buy $20 worth of tickets and put them, you know,
Yeah,
we used to do that for United Way, and we made more money off the teacup auction versus silent auctions. And then if you had something really nice for silent auctions, a lot of times people were bidding higher than the value of it because they just wanted whatever it was and to take the write-off, tax write-off or whatever, so. It gives people something to do waiting for the live auction to happen.
yeah.
I mean, you can make it as complicated as you want.
Yeah, and that's what I don't wanna make it too complicated. Because there's not a lot of help.
No, but the point is, to make money.
Yeah, well, hopefully, the Trust for Public Land, that Honor and whomever Walker and whomever else will be inspiring enough that, when the hat goes around, that, people will jump.
Now, is there an agreement with Trust for Public Land that any monies that are raised are gonna be used in Columbia, or is it?
No, I'm not sure you can really do that, Tom.
No,
But I think the whole point is there's a lot of pressure on the trust from all over the state. Everybody wants a piece of them. And I think they devoted a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of money to Columbia. And I just think that it's incumbent on us to return to them, you know, to make something like this fundraiser so that, you know, they know that we are participating. You know.
Not upon State Park, I'll be there about that.
no,
So when somebody asks a question, that where is this, so I'm gonna buy this painting and donate the money, where's the money going to? It's going
Well,
to
it's-
support
it's-
Trust for Public Land, who in turn.
Well, sure, it's, in part, it's going to, the money.
when people ask me that, I explain that Honor has a salary, somebody has to pay that. The appraisers, the lawyers, all the things we don't have. You know, we don't have the expertise, so we're really paying for their expertise. And put the focus, they
So if
rather.
any of us
than-
who volunteer to be involved to sell tickets or do whatever, should have a script. We all should be saying the same thing, whatever it is. If somebody asks, you know, why should I do this?
Well, they're actively still working for us, Raymond stuff,
They are.
the build out plan is, but we just got money, that was their efforts to get that money, it wasn't us.
Yeah, that 70,000 that just came in
I
from the
mean, I would
state,
say
it's all due to trust fund.
the money is supporting the Connecticut office, and it's the Connecticut office that's, you know.
Doing all these things for us.
Right,
These are the things they've done, they bought this parcel, this parcel, this parcel, they're doing a management plan for this whole park.
It's like, I wouldn't have to wordsmith it at this meeting, but it'd be nice if we had.
Yeah.
Something, just a paragraph or something as to
But I mean,
why do we care about trust?
Well, that's gotta be in anything we do for either flyers or Facebook or whatever, why donate, question mark, and then explain why you're
sure.
and what they've
done
done,
for donations.
what they've done and what they're still doing.
Yeah.
We wanna keep them alive so they can do these things that they're doing for us. And just the fact that they're doing for other parts of the state, that's irrelevant to us.
Yeah.
They're still active. And whatever we're gonna, as well as we do or don't do, it's probably minimal to what their expenses they're spending.
And the other thing we have to do is take it outside of Columbia.
Yeah, that's one thing what Paul talked about, that John purchasing tickets, that'd be a good vehicle for
Yeah, but Lebanon, they're in,
that. Hebron,
Nancy, Hebron,
Hebron, which
all
Hebron?
the towns around, people who use
Yeah,
their
Hebron.
trail.
Hebron early on said that they were willing to participate in this. and, You know, I think it,
I'll talk to Brian O'Connell.
So once we get, the script together, get tickets, I will volunteer to go out to Hebron's open space committee meeting and give them some tickets to sell and a script.
And that'd be big, because they would love to see, what we call Jake's property become part of this.
Yeah,
So that'd be a big benefit to them, even though it's still in Columbia, it's basically the access is in Hebron.
yep, and I'll go to Lebanon too.
And Lebanon's already part of this.
I think a good thing too would be to bring it to the attention, at least of the airline trail route there,
Mhm.
because they're working on a master plan that abuts the Mountain Pond master plan.
Yep.
And there might be, and that would bring you into Lebanon and Hebron and other places that audience to support trust or public land.
I think that's a big hunk of land right between three towns, so it's, a lot of people should be involved.
so, since we've thrown this out, do you think $50 is a good number, or would you spend $50?
I think that's a minimum.
That's $100 for a couple. For Columbia's biggest social engagement of the year.
Why would we,
I'm not hearing.
and personally, I think that's, you gotta realize what this is, it's a fundraising event.
Right.
Everybody knows they're going there to raise funds,
It's really a
raise,
cheap date.
raise money, and we wanna have fun while we're doing it.
Right.
So I don't know what the
Why
number
don't
is.
we put it at 100?
Yeah, I don't think.
$100 a ticket.
And that's for two people, a couple, or a 50 person. How do you want to do it?
You're recommending 100%.
I was, yeah.
Well, catering alone is gonna cost you anywhere from $20 to $25 a person
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
to
you got,
serve,
so
to
you
serve
got
catering.
wine, Walt's gonna get,
That includes that glass of wine too, but.
Right.
So you get a buffet. What time is this, lunch or dinner?
Well, he said we had 3 to 8. We have to narrow that down. I mean, you don't need 5 hours to do this.
So you get a buffet, a light buffet dinner, a glass of wine for your $100. Okay, that's guaranteed. And look at the social event and the benefit.
So a recent event, so Mark Community Resources down in Middletown every year does a wine tasting. And they just had theirs last week at St. Clements Castle, so it's very similar kind of thing where they have, wine, buffet, whatever. And their prices, if you buy them early, was $60 a person, $70, the price kept going up until you got to the door, so. I guess $50 isn't,
I think $50 would be a minimum, I'd be meeting 50 or up, so you wouldn't get any less than 50. I don't disagree with you, 100's not too much, just, I mean, maybe, it depends on how, who knows?
What do you think, Ron? I think 100 a person sounds steep, to some people. We're gonna have, obviously, the opportunity to donate more, envelopes or cards, like it was a couple years ago. For those who want to or can give more.
That's a good point.
I don't wanna scare them from coming.
sure.
I appreciate these comments about other fundraisers though, where you're making a donation.
I guess, to your point, if I spend $100 a ticket and I'm bringing someone with me, I'm probably not gonna put anything in an envelope.
Right, that's
So-
it. That's
so
it.
which
For
way
some
does it go?
people, but that's fine, 200, I'll take you 200.
Yeah.
But I mean, for those, I'm just worried about,
So it sounds like somewhere between 50 and 100, we have to pick a number.
yeah, and Tom's idea is a good one too, escalating number,
That might be complicated though.
yeah, well, that's true, I mean, we start with something like
I mean,
60.
obviously you're carrying tickets around, you have to call, okay, Paul, what am I up to right now? You know?
If we do the $50 a person, what other opportunities during that 3 to 8 are they gonna be there to spend other money? To help
The auctions,
fundraise?
the auction.
Right, so
They're
that'll
auction,
leave
they're
some,
auction, but I think, what the trust did last time was they essentially told their story and then sort of made a direct appeal.
Yeah.
But wasn't that
It's
a
like
free
passing
event?
the plate to church.
Was that a regular event though?
Hmm?
I don't think we paid to go there. did we?
No,
No,
So that's a different thing. We actually just showed up there and then they asked you to donate money. So that was the
You want
only,
your own wine.
yeah, so this is a different type of situation.
Right.
I think you got like a free voucher for a glass when I went in.
I might have missed that.
You didn't get your voucher.
Okay.
Yes.
Was it $7? Was he charging 7 at that time?
I don't know.
You might have donated, I don't remember.
That was like
He got 2 out of each.
TDL seed money.
So I'll throw out something else. So I'm involved with a nonprofit over in Coventry. And we do a farm to table dinner in July. And our tickets are $130 a person.
Ooh,
But the group that we're targeting are comfortable with that price. And it's something they look forward to every year.
Unless you're getting a big meal.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's an open bar, big meal.
Yeah,
whatever.
you gotta charge at least.
No, I'm saying, so, but right now, I don't think we have, I mean, a year or two from now, maybe every year it becomes more,
ramp it up
yeah.
as it goes along.
That's true, you do a successful event, and then, of course, the more money you're charging, like, you're talking about some sort of, I think you almost have to have some sort of entertainment if you're gonna do that too. Because otherwise, people, you can sit there and listen to music, you're cool, after a while, I mean, what are you gonna do? Trust Republic Land's gonna give their speech, and you're gonna have an auction. I don't know.
Maybe
You could do that pretty quick if you really hurry.
if it's a beautiful night and you're sitting outside listening to music, okay, everybody come in for the auction.
Yeah,
But if it's a rainy night and
Yeah, big difference.
you're all trying to jam into this, I don't know what their capacity is, 75 or something, I don't know.
It's a good size building, probably 75.
But I don't know, maybe,
they go quite a few people.
I think it's more than that. So.
Is it?
I don't remember this. Park lot, and it can park on the field there too.
Well, if anybody wakes up in the middle of the night, good idea, email.
I think we just need one big donor, they give us a lot of money, take them out for pizza, and cancel this event.
Craig Gates. Isn't he the town friend?
Yes, but we cost him a lot of money planning it, so we.
But this is like sponsoring a little league team.
Speaking of good people, what if we could put that up at the main moose, put up a sign office down there?
Or even down at Craig's little restaurant.
Maybe I know Steve pretty good, I'll talk to him.
The owner? Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, because I was gonna talk to Steve, if he could maybe talk to him about donating something, like one of those fire trucks or something. You know?
I wasn't, I was gonna,
I want in my garage.
I was gonna
fire
ask, first I
truck.
was thinking you put up like,
Yeah, I got
put a sign there at the place that, you know, this event's gonna
Take
happen,
care,
and then
thanks
maybe.
for coming.
I'll talk to
Have a
him.
good day.
We'll see.
See you later.
He used to be, Steve was almost my nephew,
Oh, really?
he was dating my niece for years.
Oh.
Last minute, they were, like 3 months before the wedding, they broke up.
Kofi.
Kofi, new woman.
Well, I really, the two people that I thought.
Please. All right, we
really-
are adjourned.
might-
We're adjourned?
Might be able to